Hey Leo, this is Love and Elevation here with your August reading. These readings this reading is general, so it may or may not resonate. Check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus sign or whatever sign that you're drawn to get a clearer picture about the confirmation that you seek. Um, I'm going to start off with the 3 card spread from the Mythical Goddess Tarot, and then I'm going to pull clarification from other decks um, if needed. So Leo for August 2018, overall energy and things to work on for August, or things that you may be going through for August. So Maiden, Beauty, Pleasure, just popped out. So the first card that popped out was Beauty. This card was Pleasure. I'm not going to take them, but just note. It was an Earth card and then a Water card. Beauty was Earth and then Pleasure is Water. So Leo, as I was tuning in and shuffling the cards, I felt a little bit of like a heavy heart. So I'm not, normally Leo's pretty lighthearted and, well, at least on the outside. Sometimes they hold things in and don't like to show when they're hurting. So I'm going to do a 3 card spread. It's called a Yoni spread. And I'm using the Mythical Goddess Tarot cards. And I'm going to pull other cards for clarification. But so at the bottom of the reading is the 9, and it's an oracle card, Yemiya. Excuse me. So what to me that's saying is the need to go inside, to go within and find your answers. So possibly go into meditation and be at peace with what you find. Go to the core of you and that child. And to me it's saying to address any wounds, or maybe you have been addressing old wounds and purifying from traumatic experiences. The latest eclipse that we just had was about purging and releasing things that no longer serve us. So maybe you purge some of these things out, and it's just like a remnants of things that they're kind of coming out, and you're kind of like feeling the energy now, or maybe even hopefully feeling the relief of the release of those things. But it could be, it could still be a little heavy on you. And so the situation as it exists beyond appearance, you got the 5 of fire, and that's conflict. So it may be all these things that's coming up all at once, And maybe I was feeling that because it was just like you don't really know how to process it. Like a lot of times in my experience dealing with Leos, it's like sometimes when things they don't know how they don't have all the answers that they need or that they want, then they just begin to just do and act out and try to kind of grasp for anything, whatever, instead of sometimes just being and just sitting still with the energy. And it takes maturity and it takes experience and whatever else, and not knocking Leo at all, but just saying that now may be a time to just sit still and to get to the root of the issue, or just to the root of, or just go inside, and there you'll find the answers that you seek, and you'll begin to come out of this inner conflict, and that will in turn help if there's any conflict on the outside of you. So if there's maybe any conflict in your life where you feel like you're butting heads with people, or you feel as if things are maybe not going right in your life or whatever, we first need to just go inside and figure out where that's stemming from, and where we feel conflicted inside of us. Are we having conflicting thoughts? Are we having conflicting is our behavior beginning to be conflicted? Are we conflicted with whether we're listening to our higher selves or our lower selves, or just be still and find out where that conflicting energy is coming from. And so the next course, the course of action is the criticism card. It's the 9 of wind, and like I said, it's called criticism. And so maybe what you're being asked to do, Leo, is to stop that self-criticism. Maybe that's why that conflict card is coming up, is because you need to begin to stop that criticism. And it first starts with those thoughts that are inside. And sometimes we are our own worst critics, or they say that we are our own worst critics. So maybe you're having self-defeating thoughts, or maybe you're thinking of things of the past or whatever, and right now you're maybe at a crossroad in needing to put behind you the things of the past. Maybe somebody is reminding you of you did this and you did that, or you could be yourself, replaying those things. But you don't have to act them out again. You don't have to experience it again to know that you don't want those things. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So, but it's not saying that you can't make mistakes, because it's all good. It's all necessary. So if you need to go through it again to just really to further know, then by all means, go ahead and do that. We've all done that. But if you already know what's holding you back, and if you go inside to get that confirmation and to understand what it is that is causing you to be conflicted, and what you're criticizing yourself about, or what somebody else is criticizing you about, but it starts with it's inside. Get to the root of that and move past it. And then we have the outcome is illumination. So that's the Ace of Fire. So putting those things through the fire and illuminating those things that no longer serve you, and transmuting those things, and you becoming illuminated, and seeing yourself in a better light, strengthening your will, strengthening your resolve, and fighting these inner demons, or these inner this inner conflict. You seeing this reminds me of like seeing in the dark. You on fire. You're a fire sign, so this is just a lower energy of yourself. Being in conflict, being at a standstill, feeling like you're not making progress. And then this is just such a better place. Being that lion, being that I'm thinking like bulldozer, plowing through, shutting that shit down, for lack of a better word. Like when that criticism and that self-defeating, self-limiting beliefs and all and those things come up, shut it down, be still, be still. And I want to pull a card from Esther and Jerry Hicks. Their deck of cards is called Ask and It Is Given. I want to see what you're meant to be asked to ask right now, or meant to know. And this card that popped out is, my slightest improvement is of such great value. So whatever the next best feeling for you, right now it might be criticism, right now it might be conflict, and the next best feeling may be, you know, or so you are already at conflict, and the next course of action, was criticism. So maybe if you're feeling conflicted in your life, then start to have that inner conversation, and it may come off as criticism, but maybe it's kind of like weighing your pros and cons. What do I need to do this, man? I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did that, but let me see how I can do this different. Like, it just might be that inner dialogue that you need to have in order to reach the next, the best feeling thought. And so I remember Abraham Hicks had said something about that, like, you might be in depression, but your next best thought or next best feeling may be, resentment or something like that or whatever. Not that resentment is all that good, but it's just like, I'm not about to be depressed about this. I'm feel this resentment and really deal with the issue, and then I can move on to contentment or something like that. So anyway, like I said, the card says, my slightest improvement is of such great value. And then that's number 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9 to me means endings. So ending whatever that last feeling or lower feeling was and moving to a greater one. And so the back of the card says that there's tremendous value when you are able to deliberately cause even the slightest improvement in the way you feel. For even that small emotional improvement, you may have regained a measure of control. You no longer feel powerless, and so your trek back up the emotional scale is now not only possible, but is relatively easy. And like I said, you track back up the emotional scale. So at one point, psychologists thought that the emotional scale was a circle, and it's not about it being a circle. It's about it being vertical. It's a vertical scale, so you're climbing the scale. So you want to get to the highest vibration. It's not about going in a circle or whatever. I mean, you want to essentially, like, if the vibration, like I said, if it's anger, you want to move up to, I don't know, frustration or something, in order, because it's better than feeling angry. You got to work your way up. A person doesn't just go from angry to pure bliss or whatever. Like, life does feel like that sometimes, highs and lows. We want to get to a place where we're feeling pleasure with life, like pure pleasure and joy, and or pleasure and peace, and then our low may just be excuse me, pleasure and joy, and then our low may just be peaceful, and then pleasure and joy, and then peace, and then pleasure and joy, and then peace. It's not from pleasure and joy to pain, joy to pain, and it's not such highs and lows. It's not such extreme energy. And so that, like I said, that comes with maturity, and that comes with enlightenment, and that comes from knowing where you are on your journey and knowing thyself. And so get back in touch with yourself, Leo. Just slow down a little bit. And then the next card after that was the Ten of Wind, and that's illusion. And you see this card, it's a little bit of rain, a small little storm, and she's suited and booted, got her boots on and her raincoat and a big old umbrella, and it's an illusion. The thing, whatever you're going through, is not that major, and it may be kind of big, whatever. I'm not minimizing what you're going through, possibly what you're going through, but if you just see that the sun is always shining, even when it rains, sometimes it may be, an obstacle on our path, but do what brings you pleasure, and do what makes you reach for that next best feeling thought, so that you can continue to move up that emotional scale and reach those higher vibrations, and then begin to live your best life and manifest from a higher vibration, from a higher place. So, Leo, I hope this helped you. This was your reading for August. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you.